some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down. Sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down. Sympathy.
Evening, everyone.
Evening.
We're going to have a little chat about, Arsenal. Start of the season coming up and everything good. Today, we played Lyon in the Emirates Cup final at the Emirates Stadium. And Kenny, great to have you back on again. It's been a while. Hope you're all good. And, mate, it was okay, wasn't it? It was all right. We started out well, but I think the second half, after all the changes, it bottomed off a bit. Mate, give me your opinion.
Oh, 100%. You know, like pre-season games, just like international friendlies. You know, everyone who turns up has to get a game. In order to justify the fact that they're actually there. But in terms of the game itself, we were comfortable. You know, a lot of the things that we're going to do next week in the coming seasons, we were practicing on. You know, nothing really changed. Rice is definitely going to be in set pieces. You know, we scored 2 very good set pieces goals. So one thing we know is that we're just as dangerous set pieces than from open play. And Saka looked good. Odegaard looked pretty. Looked okay. But it's the starting lineup which I think is the most important. Because I think that is going to be a starting lineup this coming season. I'm not saying that there's a toss-up between Trossard and Martinelli. I think Martinelli might be giving his his flowers because of his pace, and maybe Trossard's excursions into at the Euros. Although Martinelli played for Brazil, but from what I've seen in pre-season, he started most of the games. And he looks pretty sharp. But one thing, Martinelli, again, I look at Martinelli and I do feel the kind of frustration that Mikel will feel, especially from a sort of bit of composure. You know what I mean? I think I've been split.
Kenny.
Was that?
I still think watching that second half when he had the breakaway. 2 years ago, he was skinned.
Oh, 100%. 100%. There's no doubt about it. He had something simmering. Yes, he had something simmering in the first half as well. But that's the thing with Martinelli. The manager openly has been trying to replace him for since January 2023. That is a blatant. A lot of our Arsenal fans who object to the fact that I've suggested that Martinelli be replaced. Don't like that. They can't handle it. But the manager feels the same as I do. I think what it is I've been spoilt because I've been watching Euros and I've been seeing Nico Williams. And I looked at Nico Williams and I've seen 2 things from him: composure and end product. That is something that and not only he's done it in a big game as well, the final. So when you look at Mikel Williams, and when you look at us Arsenal fans, they say, who are you going to get replaced Martinelli? I saw quite a few players at the Euros who are better than him. I can say categorically, Anthony Gordon is a better player than Martinelli. And that shouldn't be the case because Martinelli's had more experiences. Martinelli's very much a street footballer, but needs a bit of polish, whilst Anthony Gordon's the sort of player that, you can tell that he's been coached and coached quite well. But, he needs to up his game as well because, it's a big season of him. But when I look at Martinelli, I do get frustrated. The situation with Kai Havertz as well, when there was when Kai Havertz, it wasn't quite through on goal, but when he had that shot, which I don't know where it hit, it certainly didn't hit the target, you're thinking, yeah, just a little bit of fine tweak and a striker. And I think that's what I took out of the game.
Yeah. I mean, I thought exactly the problem we've got. We've got some good players there, but then that's not, in my opinion, Anthony. We won the game 2-0, but it wasn't a polished performance. But I wasn't expecting that. I won't lie. I knew there's going to be cartloads of changes in the second half. That's what this game's all about. Yeah, 2-0 up. Lyon weren't really particularly dangerous. Defence, I thought we looked decent, but there's still work to be done, mate. Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. There is still work to be done. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll just talk about the game in brief. I feel that the first half was fantastic. You couldn't argue. You know, we played decent football within that first half. But regarding the second half, as we were watching the game, my 8-year-old son even noticed it. He kept saying to me, he said, "Dad, why is Zinchenko? Why is he running into that midfield area?" He said, "I don't get it." And I goes, "That's the way how he plays," which he was going inverted throughout the game. Priority for the game. And he was saying, "Well, that's why we got Rice and bloody Party there to do a job." I goes, "Yeah, I know, but it is what it is." But in all fairness, the second half, obviously, the substitution comes down. Arteta made a lot of subs in the second half. It did go down a bit in the second half. I'm not going to lie. Martinelli, we said it, Jez, last season. I thought that he's lost a yard of pace. You know, he could have gone on. It's like what you said. He used to run onto those balls and, smash the ball into the back of the net. I feel with the sub, when he subbed him off with Trossard, I think, to be honest with you, I would have subbed Trossard. I would have brought him on to start the second half, give them both an half each, in my opinion. And I feel that on that left-hand side, I think Trossard is the key there. I won't be starting Martinelli at all. I'll be playing Trossard this season. As I was watching the game, the guy that was hosting it, he actually said he thinks that Zinchenko is going to be the starting left back. I hope not. I mean, we signed Cauliflower and he hasn't been really playing, has he? So it's like what I said.
Why did we buy Cauliflower then?
Exactly. This is what I'm thinking, Jez, and I've actually said it on other shows. Personally, that left-hand side, I think is going to be rotated between Calafiori and Timber. If we don't get a midfielder, I think that Zinchenko is going to go up into the midfield. Because, in all fairness, it's been a poor transfer window for us this season, let's be honest. And, I think the best team this far getting players across the line is West Ham, for me. So it's like what I said, we're desperate for a striker as well. I thought when Jesus had got his knock, I thought he was going to be injured. I thought he was going to come off, because he got caught on the side of the leg again. I'm thinking, oh blimey, he's going to be out for a couple of months at least. But there was nothing to worry about there. But it's like what I said. We do need a striker, Jez. Havertz. I didn't think Havertz was that great. He had that header within the 6-yard box. It went blazingly up wide over the bar. That was all really Havertz did for me in that game. So, I just think that duo we got at the centre-back, the pairing, both of them scoring goals at the minute. I know it's only a friendly, but that's the key for Arsenal at the minute. It's just our centre-backs, I'm going to say.
The thing is, yeah, you watched the game with me.
Yeah.
We had a good bit of banter. It was a good laugh, and we had great chat tonight. I still say, though, mate, 2 good goals from set-piece corners. Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
But if you want my honest opinion, I didn't see that many opportunities of scoring from open play.
Nah. There's nothing new there, bro. There's nothing new there. You was doing well from set pieces last season. you should have the quality to be able to actually do something from open play, with the players that you've got. And today, like watching Arsenal today and watching them against Leverkusen as well, I thought Leverkusen was particularly poor. But I kind of understand that now because I just don't think they wanted to take that trophy home, to be fair. I really don't, because it looked fucking awful. But, I mean, the thing is, it's like, I don't see anything different with you guys. I don't see anything different. You need that striker, in my opinion. And I think if you get that, so if you get Tony, I've already said it. If you get Tony, then it's going to be scary for all of us. And I've got a feeling that could happen as well. But it's just like, there's no difference with you guys. You were scoring from set pieces last season. So there's just no difference that I see. And where Martinelli's concerned, I think it's quite worrying, actually, because, I mean, just going by my team, every single friendly I've seen, they've all fought for the shirt. Every one of them's fighting to make sure they get that shirt. I didn't see that today from Martinelli.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny, this is a big situation. I find it confusing, Kenny. We just seem to ignore this. That why don't we, Kenny, get out and go and get that striker? We can get Tony, man. He's there.
Well, that's the thing, Jez. I think this summer window is just as much, if not probably slightly more concentration on outgoings. I always thought that with the summer we had last year when we spent nearly £200 million, that it was always going to be a case of this summer window of balancing the books, and that's what it's been. We've only got Smith Rowe out the door. Eddie has to go, and I think there's going to be sort of more. We've got to look at Reece Nelson as well, because I do think that you look at all the clubs, with the exception of clubs who have got their financial houses in order, there hasn't been that much transfer activity where you went, whoa, you know what I mean? Like last few years, you some of the signings will smack you right between the eyes. Obviously, we did last season, but there was other clubs that you thought, that's a big signing. Oh, that's massive. Whilst you look at us, there's outgoings. City have just sold a player about seller. Well, they sold Alvarez for about 81 million euros. So that's a bit. I think that's kind of the trend for Arsenal. I mean, they do said today that Arsenal, that there's going to be. He hinted in a very cryptic way, exciting for some fans, that wait, something big. You just be patient. Something's definitely coming. I think his word big. So who knows? But I think that is very highly dependent on Eddie getting over the line. Eddie will go. It's either going to be us accepting Lyon's final offer or a loan with the obligation to buy him. So I think that's where it's going to come from. Reece Nelson, nothing personal, I just want him at the club because he's just not good enough.
What did he offer today, Kenny? What did he offer today?
I don't think it's a case of him offering a date. He just isn't good enough. Even if he was injury free, the way we're playing, the caliber of play he is, there's one position he should have sort of how to say it. I use the language. He should have mastered. Because right-footed players don't play on the right wing anymore. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, especially in the Premiership. Everyone's inverted. There is a vacancy on down the left, and he hasn't pushed for the left. Everyone who watches Arsenal knows that is our Achilles heel, both defensively and attacking-wise, because we're not satisfactory there. Martinelli's unsatisfactory. Trossard hasn't got the pace. Consistently, both of them haven't made the place their own. So it's up for grabs. I would have thought with Reece Nelson's pace and trickery, ability to, shoot. I'm astonished that he hasn't been either pushed for that position or he hasn't looked in that direction. It's an astonishing thing. in terms of the left back, I know a lot of people talk about Timber, but I do think that if Timber was fully fit, I think the person whose place been jeoparded will be White's. Even though White's had a couple of good seasons, Timber is that kind of player who can play those positions, that position that White plays. He can play right sided centre half, and he could play right back. I do think if he gets fully fit, that would be very interesting. That if the manager's to be believed, that it's not backup players, it's competition for places. So that's another area we can look at. But in terms of that striker, Ivan Toney, is available. I think, he's only got a year left in his contract. Brentford wanted 80 million, ain't going to happen, so they're reducing it. For what I see, I don't see any injuries. I mean, Solanke's gone to Spurs, so I don't know what the situation with Ivan Toney. I really don't. People was 4-4-2 suggesting that Ivan Toney, because certain teams don't play on a counter attack, that he can't fit in. I just think that's complete rubbish. There is a player, but 4-4-2 just. It's just some whiz kid who just looks at stats and thinks he's the equivalent of like some kid genius or something. Doesn't know anything about football. Doesn't watch it for me. But for me, that is an area we need to look at. We heard about Osimhen. Again, Chelsea, not being able to come for the money, they're pulling out. That's another player Arsenal can look at. But for me, I want a player that's played our league, shown that he can do it in our league, and that's Ivan Toney. But only Mikel Arteta knows why he won't get a striker. Mikel Arteta's got a very specific way of playing. Obviously, we're not in on it because it changes every season. We think we know how Mikel plays, and then all of a sudden, a certain player will play in a different position. A certain player will be going down the pecking order. You know what I mean? First, it was Kieran. We thought it'd be an Arsenal captain, future Arsenal captain, gone down the pecking order for Zinchenko, and then Zinchenko can't defend, so he's looked again. And then we've got a situation with the midfield. First it was Partey, then he got injured, and then it was Jorginho. Mikel changes the way he plays all the time, and I think until he feels that we need a striker, we're going to be having the same thing. But I just say to Mikel, good luck with that, because Man City won the league twice. Who's a common denominator? Erling Haaland. 66 games, 63 goals. Man City 2 titles at our expense.
Yeah, but the thing is, Kenny. I mean, the thing is, it's like you had, I think, the second best defense last season, or was it the first best defense, or whatever? I can't remember. And the only thing that you're failing on is scoring goals. I mean, and if a manager can't see that that's a striker that's needed, then that is just a clue.
He won't say things yet. He won't, because if you look at the way Arsenal fans have said it, because remember, I wasn't around for the last game of the season, obviously, and I was abroad. But the message I was getting from abroad, from the UK, especially from the fan base that I care about, is I thought we won the league. I generally thought we won the league the way they were going on.
Yeah.
I generally thought that we won the league because they were talking about how proud they were of the football club, how proud they were of the players, how that Mikel Arteta deserves a medal because we were the best defence. We scored the most goals in Premiership history at Arsenal. I thought if I could just see past the reality, I would have thought we won the league. But the thing is, these same people are going to say, "What are you upset about? What are you concerned about?" We've had the best defence of the league. We scored over 90 goals, our best ever Premiership goal tally. There's nothing to complain about. Everything's all right at the races. But what people seem to think, Man City only conceded a few more goals, but scored a few more goals than us. Hence the fact that even if this goal difference that we had over them, it was dwindling slowly. It'd have been very interesting, what the situation was. Who knows? Might have just sneaked it by the one goal. But the fact is, when you look at it, that game against Tottenham, was a nothing game. It was a 0-0. Who got the 2 goals to push them towards the title? Erling Haaland. Attacking.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah. And
True.
I think that's where a striker matters, because they will actually get those goals. And I think I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you got Tony, I think that would be shut up shop for most of us, to be fair.
Well, I think so, but the problem is that the manager has to agree, because at the end of the day, Man City were winning the title without a prolific goal scorer. But I always say of Arsenal, Arsenal's inch rate isn't about just toppling Man City. They have to challenge at all fronts. You know, the players we got and we should be getting and probably going to get. We should be competing for the League Cup, the FA Cup, Champions League. We've got a year's more experience, and we can compete for the league. Erling Haaland in his first season scored 52 goals. Man City won a treble.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was down to his contribution. You can't have this excuse, so we haven't got the squad. Don't stop. If you say if you're an club at Arsenal and you say you haven't got a squad to compete all fronts, you're not a big club then.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Very true. I mean, that I'm going to ask Anty a question in a sec. Just do a couple of these comments here. Jam says, we'll be okay with a strike if and only if you Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Havertz and Odegaard properly. And also if players like Rice can chip in with goals. That's due to the system. Now, I'm just going to quickly thank you, Carl, for gifting some memberships. Thank you, mate, for that. Bro. Thank you for doing that, my friend. But, mate, Anthony, do we need that striker, or are we okay with just Martinelli, Saka, Havertz?
No, we need that striker. We definitely need that striker. I mean, Kenny touched on it with Osimhen. They were going to do a swap deal with Lukaku plus money. So whether that is still on the cards, I'm not too sure. Solanke was offered, but looks like obviously he's gone to Tottenham for 65 million. Isaac is going to stay at Newcastle. So in all fairness, out of all the strikers, it leaves Ivan Toney. That's the only one. That's the only one it leaves. So if we can't get in, and Brentford are saying now they've dropped the price I've heard now to around about 40 million. So that's pennies to Arsenal. I don't care what anybody says. Arsenal's got money, and they have got money to spend, and we need to spend it if we want to achieve something this season. When I say achieve, I mean the Premier League. That's what I want, and I want. And if you could put an FA Cup with that, brilliant. What I wanted last season, I haven't changed my mind. I want it this season, right? So that is what we should compete for. And a decent run in the Champions League. I mean, look at the Champions League game. I mean, we got to the quarterfinals. We got money for that. We got money for TV rights out of that as well. So we can only spend one lot of money on a left back. And a reserve goalkeeper that nobody's even heard of from Ajax. He's in the reserves. So do you know what I mean? So it's been really poor all round. But the answer to your question is, Jez, yes, we need that 20-goal striker. Pedro Neto was a shock to me when he was literally Chelsea out of the blue. I would have loved Pedro Neto at Arsenal. We could have rotated him with Saka on that right. Because you think of it, if we get rid of Reece Nelson, which obviously I'm one of those, I want him leaving, I want him gone out the club. We rejected a £25 million bid for West Ham, by the way, which was ludicrous because that's a bonus because he'd come up from the reserves anyway, right? So why are we looking at players like this as well, like a Pedro Neto, something that can rotate with Saka? Because it's not fair on Saka, him playing every single game throughout the season. Because if he's injured, who have we got there? We got nobody. So it's not just a striker, Jez. Even though I do agree we want one, we need either a decent backup or a rotational player for Saka. And that's the main two that we need.
Totally agree with that. Totally agree. And as Kanaru, the banker, hope I haven't butchered your name, mate. We are missing something in the attack. Yes, we are. And that is what we're talking. That's what we're saying. Now, to me today, decent performance, wasn't brilliant, but we didn't look great at scoring a game from outfield play. And that now, when we look at the start of our season, some of the games we've got, we're not going to have to be able to rely on set piece corners, whatever. Yeah, they were good today. They were all right. Yeah. We got away.
It's a good thing to have to fall back on. But if you're looking for win a league, you shouldn't be looking at that.
But Yeti, you have to be able to have players up front that score you goals from outfield play. There's no way you're ever going to win a league competition by scoring goals from corners and free kicks. Never going to happen.
But this is my issue really, because why does Arteta think he can reinvent the fucking wheel and not have a striker? You know, I mean, yeah, fair enough. Pep did it, but Pep's like so many miles above what you'll ever be, bro. He's miles above what you'll ever be.
He's saying it. I mean, there's so many people I've seen today in the 3 streams I've been on. Mine, yours, this one. Yeah, we need a bloody striker. So why the hell, right? Can't this manager and his technical team see? We need, and there's one sitting there in bloody Brentford who clearly doesn't want to be at Brentford. Right,
he would upscale Saka's game 100% because they're not going to be able to have 3 players on Saka because they're going to have to be watching Tony because he is brilliant with dragging defenders away and making them look after him themselves because he did it with you guys 2 seasons ago, so you can see exactly what he offers. And Burmo, when he first went to Brentford, he wasn't all hot shit, but then when he sort of when the Tony and him sort of got together, and Burmo scored a lot of goals because Tony actually provides the assists as well, and he takes defenders with him, and Saka will be able to get into those spaces to do his left foot shot. What he does.
Yeah, I mean, Michael's made a comment here. If you sign a good striker, he will take pressure off the wingers. The opposing defences will need to concentrate. Now, Kenny, this is where Arsenal once were good. When we had the ilk of the players like Henry, those type of players, they used to dazzle, confuse, upset defences. Where when we had Pires, players like that, Henry would cause dramas, right? He'd drag players out of their position, and then you had Petit, Vieira maybe, but they Overmars, they would come in and punish you. They would punch you up because you're thinking everybody's going with Henry or Vieira. Back then, we haven't got that anymore, Kenny, have we?
I mean, the thing about these players is that we haven't got these players before. But if they want to get into that kind of level of Henry, Bergkamp, Ashley Cole, Perez, they've got to win something. They've got a good winning something will give them the confidence to get that level. But I think where we have now, you're right. You think about Arsenal when they were strong, and there were times when we were just challenged for the league, not winning it. That left wing, that left-sided axis of Perez, Ashley Cole, and Henry, all 3 of them, we used to murder sides at Highbury, home and away. It was just like, I felt sorry for the opposition, personally. I felt sorry for the opposition because we were killing people. We were killing them. When I think about, Ivan Toney, 100%. He could generally hold the ball up. He can generally play on the shoulder, and he could generally get into those positions. All right, it's probably going to inconvenience Kai Havertz a bit, but that's where you're at a big club. Kai Havertz, he's not a striker. his best position probably is where Martin Odegaard plays. But Martin Odegaard's playing some brilliant football, especially at home. You can't drop Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard at the moment is making the place his own. Havertz is more than welcome to challenge him for a place, just as Vieira. But Martin Odegaard's standards have been maintained, and he's getting better. But in terms of that, the striker position, you have to get the striker. You really do. Not just for the fact that we can help us win the league. It's about that striker helping us compete in the Champions League. Because you don't need a good striker in the Champions League, especially against proper good defences. And in league competitions, like I said, the winning goal. Especially when a game's tight or when teams are trying to take it into extra time or replays, that striker can then make a difference and help us get to finals. Look at Haaland and Henry. Those are the kind of players that, if they didn't score in the final itself, they would have scored in the quarterfinal or semi-final to get you there. You know what I mean? And I think that's where the club have to do something. Edu again's mentioned about ask the something's going to happen. Well, I think the only signings that Arsenal want is a striker. They don't want any other player but a striker. They don't want a cover someone to challenge Saka or someone to challenge their left side. They just want someone who's going to say, right, that's my game. We tried other people, Jesus and Zinchenko. One thing they've done, and a lot of people would disagree with me, is that they brought their Man City form with them. Some people say they haven't. Well, they have. The reason why I say they have, Jesus scores no goals, and Zinchenko can't defend to save his life, and they were no different at Man City. Jesus never scored goals at Man City, and Zinchenko wasn't able to defend there. So nothing's changed. We got what we bought. Nothing, and they haven't improved us. Because we were getting to a situation where we were, getting better and better with more experience. They're just a couple of players who've helped us along, but have they made the kind of difference? Been the catalyst? No. Jesus don't score goals. He's not the striker we want. So he hasn't solved that striker thing, and the left hand side is still concerning.
True, mate. I mean, this is the big thing. Just to do this quickly. Ross, mate, thank you for your super chat. Kenny, is Mikel a bone in or a boneless pork chop? Kenny.
Well, I think what's happening is that we'll find out at the end of the season. If he wins something, then obviously there's gonna be pork on that bone. But if we don't win anything, then there's just there's no pork on the bone. I say it now. That's the situation. He's working his nuts off, no doubt about it. But if people are arguing that Community Shields aren't trophies, then he's only won one trophy in 5 years. In 5 years, you know what I mean? And he won it in with a team that probably wasn't his, but he should take the credit because it was his tactics that got us to the final and helped us win the game. But I say it with the utmost respect. He hasn't won anything. And I'm sorry, his hard work will count for nothing until he wins a trophy. That's just facts. That's the standards that that the rest of the sane world, if you take out Arsenal fans, will measure Mikel on. Sane people do. Sane football fans do. Trophies. Anything other than measuring them on trophies is insane.
True. Very true. Anthony.
Back in a sec, guys.
I want to ask you this question, right? We've got a tough start to the season. It's not going to be an easy one. We've got some proper tough games in that first 10. Yeah? Proper tough games. Tottenham away, City away. Then we got a few Bournemouth home. I can't remember. And then we got Liverpool away, I think. I mean, that's a tough start, man. Do you think we can get through that and come out? I mean, the way I'm looking at it, right? 10, the first 10 games, right? If we're going to be in contention from there, yeah, I'm thinking with the games we got there, I'm thinking we've got to have at least 23 points to be in contention. I won't lie.
No. I think you're absolutely right there, Jed. But the problem is, I've looked at it as well, and what is going on. That today, what we saw, that's our first 11. You know, that is our first 11. So going on today, I just feel. I don't know, Jess. I mean, I think we'll beat Wolves. I think there's Brighton in there. I think we might get it over the line with Brighton. But just like we got Villa in that mix as well, Aston Villa. So it's like what I said. Is a real solid month. I think we'd be lucky. I think we'll pick a point up against Villa, a point up against Tottenham because it's their ground, and a point at Man City. The whole point that I'm trying to get at is if we can get as many points as we can without losing a game, you know, because let's be honest, Jez, Man City, they lost 4 or 5 games last season in the Premier League, right? If we lose against Villa, lose against Man City and Liverpool, that's 3 out of Man City's 4 games last season. Now, from the start of the season to halfway through, if we lose 4 games, my question is, I'm going to reverse it round, I guess. My question is, have we got a chance of winning the Premier League? Think about it. Because they've lost 4 or 5 games. If we lose 4 games from the start to New Year, let's say to the next January transfer window, do you know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be over by maybe February, beginning of March.
Well, that's interesting. You know, you think about the games, but again, this is going to be our 3rd year experience of winning the title. Sorry, challenge for the title. If you want to win the title, you have to go to Villa Park and win, regardless whether it's a second game or not. You have to go to. We've won twice at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And we've got to go there and win. We've got to go to Man City and make a statement. If everyone, you know, is saying, well, it could be Arsenal's year, well, go to Man City and win. Beat them. Don't sit back. Take them at their own game and beat them. And that would, because I'll tell you, if we, despite the fact that our first 10 games are hard, trust me, if that was Man City in the same position as us with those 10 games, you put your bottom dollar in them getting 30 points. That's going to be us. That has to be us. If we want to win the title, then we acknowledge and respect the fact that it's going to be hard to win at Villa Park because of what they did to us last season. Yeah. We'll take comfort in the fact that we've beaten Spurs twice at their ground, and that if we score the first goal in the North London derby at their ground, that tends to be going out. That, with the exception of 4 years ago, if you go by the last 2 seasons, we've gone and win comfortably. So that's how we've got to look at it, and then got to take one game at a time. But again, out of those 30 games, 26 points. You have to be looking at 26 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeti, you're Nottingham Forest. Decent pre-season. Not done too bad. Brought in a load of players.
Yeah.
And you fancy playing Arsenal?
I don't worry about you guys anytime, to be honest with you. Oh, wait a minute. Where's Jess gone? Did Jess mean to knock me out then, or knock himself out? I kept knocking him out on my channel, so I think he meant to knock me out there, but knocked himself out. That is just hilarious.
I pressed the wrong button, man.
Where is he? I can hear him talking. Where is he?
We can hear you, Jess. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Yeah, we can hear you, mate, but we can't see you. Are you in, is it like upside down? Are you in Stranger Things? What the hell?
No,
This is bizarre. You meant to knock me out of here, then, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I think his Wi-Fi
Well,
snowed there.
that is absolute gold. You meant to knock me out, and you knocked yourself out of it instead. That
I
is
won't,
just
I won't
gold,
deny
mate.
it. I won't deny it. I did. I was gonna cut you out. And you did it to me earlier, so I was going to
I
do it to
love
you.
that. I have that, mate. That was brilliant. Yeah, knock me out now. I'm good. I'm done.
No, I'm bored with that now. So
Oh my days, that was funny. Yeah. What was what did
answer
you
the
ask
question.
me again?
Just answer the question.
What did you ask me?
Are you looking forward to playing Arsenal in this seat?
He's gonna do it proper now. Yeah, not worried about you guys.
Okay, that's
I'm
big
not,
ball.
I'm not worried about you guys at all because at the end of the day, right? Every one of us on this panel, yeah, knows, and all these little people that started supporting football now. Every one of us has seen a point where our teams have absolutely sucked in the past. And the striker has come along right at the end of it and won us the game. Every single one of us have seen it. So we know that strikers are important.
Why did Arsenal see a striker as being important? Then go on, answer me that.
Why don't Arsenal see a striker as being important? Well, I think you need to ask yourself why Arsene Wenger, not Arsene Wenger, fucking hell. Why what's his fucking name? Arteta. Why Arteta don't see it as important? Because this man wants to recreate the wheel and show that he's better than everybody else. And that's why he signed Havertz. And then he gets Havertz at 65 mil and then turns around and go, I don't really know how to play him or where to play him. I mean, to me, that's a sackable offence straight away.
That's the question, man. I mean, Andy G here quite rightly said, if Arsenal spent the money on a top striker and backup winger, we'd win the title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can 100% agree with that. Yeah, he's absolutely right. But this is what I'm saying now. The time is gone on. I was very surprised going back when the Euro started. The first game when the Euro started, that was when the transfer window opened, right? Why didn't we sign anybody leading up to the Euros? Because you're thinking now, we've had the Euros. There's going to be there's going to be people going left, right, centre. There's going to be a lot of transfers after this. Obviously after the Euros, it has been for some clubs. I'm not going to lie. I mean, West Ham is like what I said, is being one of them. Chelsea another. But with us, it's just absolutely rubbish. It's absolutely poor. I always say it. I don't know what is wrong with Mikel Arteta. I don't know his philosophy and his way of thinking up here. I really don't. They've got to act fast now because the Premier League starts next week. And if you're bringing a player in like an Ivan Toney, Premier League proven, brilliant. But if you're bringing in a striker from somewhere abroad and he's got to come in, he's got to adjust and adapt to our style of play. So this is what we're thinking. Who's that other guy? It plays for Sporting Lisbon. He used to play for Coventry and Swansea. I may have just butchered his name. Gyökeres, yeah. Now it's still on the cards with him, but they're still talking in the region of £80 million for him. 80 million. So it's like what I said, if we've got the money, if he's that good, which personally he was championship material, and then he went to that one season at Porto and bagged in, I think it was around about 38 goals or something like that. Yeah. If he's that good, then go and get him now. If not, save your money, what you're going to spend on him. Half that money, bring in Ivan Toney, and then the other half can go on to a bloody right winger for a cover for Saka. It's not rocket science. But trouble is, though, with this manager, he needs to be told this because you know how stubborn he is. Personally, I'm going to come out and say it, Jez. I think he's lacking a few brain cells up here.
Yeah,
personally, that's my opinion of it.
I think it's lack of experience, man. I've got a great question. Here. I'm going to ask you this question, fella. Right, you've got the greatest knowledgeable man about English football.
Why are they all called Kai Havertz
On the panel. You guys are fake fans. I could beat you guys in any quiz. 30 seconds, mate. Who was who was Henry Norris at Arsenal Football Club? You've got 30 seconds to answer that question. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Who was Henry Norris? Because if you want to take the piss out of Kenny, Ken and me, right, then do one. Because I know you won't know the answer. Because you're going to have to Google that. You're going to have to Google it.
Jez, why do they always pick the player of the worst that you've got?
Big name. He's a big name. Anyway, it's a big name. And it's because they're fans of Mikel. Their mantra is that Mikel's doing a very good job, that we should back anyone who wears an Arsenal shirt and that's it. And I think that's their way of showing loyalty, and they feel that we can't be constructive in our sort of observations about it.
He's failed.
Trouble is, Kenny, I get what people say. Oh, we got the best defensive record. Oh, we've got the we've scored a lot of goals. We've got more points than the season before. Yeah, great. But what have we got to show for it?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So what's the point? Is that then? We finished second, trophyless. It didn't make a difference if we finished second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth in the top six. We still didn't win anything.
What game has he changed with his tactical genius that I keep hearing about?
Well, they will say that because it was so bad under Unai Emery. Well, it was catastrophic. And it was obviously, we knew it was bad under Wenger because we always got the impression of Arsenal that tactically, we used to get outnumbered in midfield, and defensively we just got overrun, and we used to just dominate games with possession, but got beaten on counter attacks and set pieces. So of course you should say that. But one thing about these fans, and again, this is the impression I got when I was abroad about what great that we actually won the league, is that you'll never get an Arsenal fan to ever admit that in the 23 season we gifted the league to Man City. They'll never admit it. They'll never accept it. They'll argue and debate with you probably till you agree with them, and that could take a month, a year, or 5 years. But they still want to debate with you. Last season, despite the fact that Paul Scholes said in the fan overlap that the Man City game was a turning point where we celebrate the draw. Even after celebrating the draw, Arsenal fans will never admit that Man City were 2 points behind us. We didn't have to play Man City after that or Liverpool, and that the title was actually in our hands because we had better. Us and Liverpool had the same points, but we had the better goal difference. It was still in our hands that if we won every game from that game on the 31st of March to the end of the season, we would have been champions. And that the fact we lost to Aston Villa gifted the title to Man City. Man City never really, from about Easter Monday, in both seasons, had the title in their hands. They never did. It was always us who had it in our hands. But you'll never get these fans to admit it. They'll never accept it. They'll say, you're being negative, that you're trying to put the club down, you hate Mikel so much that you're looking for anything. Well, let's be honest. Either a lot of these fans love to use stats or statistical data when it suits them. Well, I've got a stat for them now. We had it in our hands in the last 2 seasons where we weren't like the season in 2023, even if we lost to Man City, we still had a cushion to go and win the league. Last season, after playing Man City, we didn't have to play him. So what does that say? But you won't get them to admit it. They think that if they admitted it, it's a criticism of their managers. Well, I'm not telling them to not like Mikel Arteta, but I just want them to understand why I don't rate him and why I have concerns about his experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, fact. But the the little bullshitter has bottled it. Couldn't answer the question, Kenny. And I'd love him to come and challenge you and me. And
Well, he won't. He won't. The reason why they won't do it is because simple reason is that their next I think they're a lot younger than us, and then they'll probably think that we're sad gits for knowing that answer, for knowing who Henry Norris is, that we haven't got a life, and that he's got this great life where he basically watches.
Anyway,
he basically watches programs like Young Sheldon
So,
on TV. Basically watches Britain's Got Talent, that sort of things, and that's his way of life. And he's basically young. He probably goes shopping centres with his mates and does nothing, just window shops, and goes on his phone taking videos.
yeah.
That's probably what that's probably why he wouldn't know who Henry Norris is.
Yeah, fact, mate. Fact. It's a sad indictment of the modern youth, but there we go. Yeah, young Sheldon. Anyway, guys, I've got to bounce. I haven't eaten today, and even though I had a bad tum yesterday, I am a bit peckish. Kenny, as always, been a pleasure having you.
Scrambled egg on toast, yes, that'd work.
Sorry,
Scrambled egg on toast, that'd work.
Ooh, I could just with salmon, with smoked salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're there posh to have smoked salmon.
Hey.
But what I was going to say, something there. Kenny, Anthony, I do have a quiz to do. I've been waiting to do it for quite a while. Obviously, delayed it, whatever. So I want to do that probably whenever you guys are ready.
Well, yeah, let us know. We all want it to be compatible. I'll make myself available, and I'll definitely.
Yeah, no worries.
I know Anthony will as well, but I'm looking forward to something. You know what I mean? And who knows? Maybe Kai Havertz, in inverted commas, may want to watch the quiz. Might learn something.
If you think of it, I lost out to Kenny by 1 point.
You did.
1 single point.
Yeah, well, maybe he'll come and challenge
you as well, Mama Flossie.
Maybe he'll come and challenge you guys. You know what I mean?
It'd be nice if he did. Yeah.
See what his knowledge of Arsenal really is all about. He couldn't answer that one, which is a pretty easy question. Who was Henry Norris? Now, most people would know the answer to that, but hey, whatever. Never mind. It is what it is. But yeah, we're out of here pretty soon. Anthony, mate, as always. Oh, sorry. Let me start again. Kenny, shout yourself out, please, mate, on Insta.
Well, I'm on Instagram. It's Kenny Kane 1972. The football season is about to start. I haven't put that much on because a lot has been going on as you know anyway. But there have been some really some stories that I thought, let's talk about it. It's all about football. I haven't found anything exciting in any other sports, and I can categorically say I have no interest in a guy from Sheffield's love life. I don't want to know about it. I don't care. That's your fault, not mine. Don't make it public. Sort yourself out and sort your missuses out.
Yeah. Shocking, man. That is shocking. Seriously. Okay.
He's thick. He's a thick footballer.
Thick as shit. Thick as shit. I won't lie.
Who said that? I ain't even seen that. Who said that?
Come on, come on, you have.
No, I don't really follow.
Well, he's from Sheffield. He's from Sheffield, and he played right back for England in the Euros.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anthony, I hope your back gets better soon, mate.
Not too, mate.
And next time, sort your bloody scaffold out, bro.
Yeah, we do.
Wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Never had a backbone anyway, did you? So it didn't make much difference.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Penny, close your ears. Yeah, you prick. Yeah.
I told you, you shouldn't go up scaffolding to stay on that tractor. You know what I'm saying?
No. Terrible.
It's just not on for you. It's just not you. Mate, where can we find you, bro?
Yeah, you can find me on Early Doors TV, where we do the good, the bad, and the ugly on Wednesday. We're also doing a show at 8 o'clock tonight on the Sunday night takeaway. There is going to be a special guest coming on, and he's an Arsenal fan, and me and Kenny Ken knows him from the days when we used to go on Claude's show. So he's going to be coming on. He's going to make his debut on.
Hang on here. I know it. I know it is. I know it is.
Who is it?
He's from the same part of London as Early Doors. He's the sort of same part of London as Early Doors. And trust me, he's one of those guys that if you don't agree with him, you'll still be arguing with him for about 5 years until you agree, and then you have to give up and agree with him.
You have to give up. You're very close. You're very close. Very close. I think you're on about Terry. It's not Terry, but there is a connection there.
I know. All right. Yeah. The other one is a bloke who's from Islington but lives near Terry in East London.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I know you talked about. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's where you can find me. Also, you can find me on here on Jez's channel, Arsenal History and More. And make sure that you like and subscribe on Jez's show, and also on Yeti's show as well at the Long-Eared Yeti. And also subscribe to Kenny on Instagram as well. So he does good content on there. So that's it.
Totally right. As always, it's good to be back almost to the start of the season where we've got proper content. Because we've not got all the bullshit of the Euros. Kenny,
England, I have to admit, England nearly fluked it, but the right team won.
Yeah. Your fault. I watched it. I bloody watched it because it was you. So I'm blaming you all the way.
Yeah, the only good thing to come out of me getting all of you guys to watch the Euros is that for the first time in the last 6 or 7 years, we've actually gone into tournaments being pretty cheesed off that England didn't win it. Because think about it, 20 years ago, if England were getting the results in those tournaments, we'd have just been celebrating and thinking that's a good thing. But because now we actually think we're cheesed off that England got to 2 finals and fluffed their lines. We're cheesed off that they got to a semi-final and cheesed off to got a quarter final. That's how it should be with England. The expectation should be high. We should want Southgate to have his cough, left with dead fish in there, or throw rotten tomatoes at him. That's how it should be. England should be at the top of the tree when it comes to international football.
True.
Yeah.
True. I won't deny that.
Do you remember that Netherlands game, Kenny? I was on holiday in Dorset, and I was in the clubhouse watching it. And after the game, I was on a show, right? And I say you what, bloody hell! Not only could I not find my caravan that I was in, I literally walked on the bloody wrong campsite. So and I had a few beers, and I'm like, "Where is it?" You can actually see me walking around on the actual show.
Totally embarrassing. Wrong.
It was.
Can't believe that you're on that channel picked out your face. Seriously, man. Wrong. Wrong. Anyway. Yeti, thanks for your time today, as always.
No worries.
Watch along and everything else. Please, mate, shout yourself out. Yeah, I'm glad your channel, your subs went up today. Didn't they? They went up, didn't they?
Yeah, they went up quite a bit. They went up 7, so it's all good. Real ones, not fucking fakes, because I don't do that shit. And it's Long-Eared Yeti's Cave, always be the same. And if you want to drop in there,
Gotcha.
yeah, well done. I will say this, mate. Well done. You got it right. I mean, the fact that you dropped yourself instead of me is fucking hilarious. And that's lucky it's not my stream because that would have been clipped, mate. That would have been clipped.
You can still actually clip it, Yeti, and put it on YouTube. Did you do that?
No,
He just needs to clip it, mate. Just needs to actually clip it. You know,
do one.
really does.
Do one.
Anyway, go fuck you, Jez. And yeah, Long-haired Yeti's cave. Drop over there if you want to speak it real or just talk shit like the rest of these. Massively awesome to be on with you guys. Kenny, awesome to see you. Jez, awesome to see you. Anthony, how you doing? And yeah. Yeah, just drop on there, man. Real talk, real forest, and yeah, that's all it's about, man. Thank you for having me on.
Always, man. Always. Right, let's get out of here. And it's always a pleasure, Kenny. Great to have you back. You know that. And we'll be resurrecting the weekly Wednesday stream soon, I hope, mate.
You're damn right you'll be. You're damn right you'll be.
We'll be doing that one. And I think tomorrow is we're back with the weekly podcast with Lee.
Are we? Tomorrow? Brilliant.
Tomorrow, apparently. Yeah, we're back with the weekly podcast. So I think that'd be, 5 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah, right. Brilliant. That's good news. That's good.
And then, so it's all getting back to how it used to be, which is great. And can't wait for all that, people. Thanks for everybody for watching, liking, subscribing, comments. It's all been good, man. So we're out of here, people. Take care. And we'll see you all very soon. Take care.